Okay, I just had my wisdom teeth taken out yesterday, so I don't know if you can tell, but my face is all puffy, and I'm talking kind of weird because my mouth hurts. But welcome to vlog number 10. Bit of a mile marker here, so I thought switch it up, do something kind of cool. It took me a while to think of something cool to do, and then I thought, what if vlog 10 was animated? So we're going to animate vlog number 10. Whoa, we're animated. For this week's vlog, I'm going to tell the story of when I forgot how to swallow for a whole year. People really love the story when I tell them, so strap in, I guess. I think I was in like 5th grade or so when it happened. I was at a potluck dinner for a church event, and I was eating some noodles or something, and I choked on them. No big deal. And then when I tried to eat them again, they wouldn't go down. I just kept coughing them up, and I freaked out a little bit. And I went into the restroom, and I slapped some water on my face, and I stared at myself in the mirror, and I said, "G, get your shit together." And I went back to my table, looked at my plate, and I went in on those noodles. But they weren't going down without a fight. I don't know. I could not swallow these noodles. So I gave up and I just walked home. I lived like 3 blocks from the building, so I just walked home. I crawled in my bed and I cried because crawling in bed and crying fixes everything. I woke up like several hours later and my mother had cooked dinner. So I went downstairs knowing that my parents were going to yell at me when they find out I couldn't swallow. And sure enough, during dinner, I didn't eat anything because I couldn't eat. And my dad gave the old, "Your mother worked hard to cook this dinner, now eat your food," blah, 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 blah. And I just burst out crying, and I was like, I can't eat, I can't swallow, my throat ain't working. And they just yelled at me some more, which was kind of traumatizing and didn't help the situation. My dad ended up grabbing a banana, and he hands it to me, and he tells me to chew it up and swallow it, because that's supposed to be easy or something. And I remember just sitting there crying and trying to swallow this freaking nanner, and I couldn't swallow. Like, I couldn't swallow in general, and add the fact that my throat was all swelled up from crying didn't help either. And then the next day, I remember I was sitting on the porch with my sister, and she was just devouring a bean burrito from Taco Bell. And I'm talking like 2008 Taco Bell, so that burrito was thick. Because like nowadays, you get a bean burrito and it's like really thin and just pathetic. But back in the day, they had some big burritos. And she just took like giant bites and just swallowed it without even like chewing. And I remember just looking at her in awe. Like, how? How do you swallow that? Like, my brain just couldn't figure out the mechanics of swallowing. And my mom, she started to buy me like applesauce and like Special K protein shakes that like old women drink, and baby food. And she literally bought me baby food because like I couldn't eat or swallow anything. So I just eat this baby food, put it in my mouth, and just like let it slide down my throat. And it was disgusting. Baby food is disgusting. However, ironically, the banana flavor was like the best flavor. And I lived off that stuff for a couple weeks until my dad scheduled me to go to Children's Hospital to see if they could figure it out. And I thought my mom and dad yelling at me at the dinner table was traumatizing. Whew. These doctors were they were so much worse. It felt like I was in a Saw movie. The first part was pretty okay. I was just wearing a doctor gown, or a patient gown, a hospital gown. I was wearing a hospital gown, that's what it's called. And I was laying in a hospital bed with my shirt off, like the shirt part was off, and this nurse walks in, and she just started poking me for like 5 minutes straight. She was just poking my belly and my chest and my sides. And I was like, okay, this might solve something. I have no idea how to do this. And then they transfer me to like a surgical room. And I remember this room as being like 100 feet by 100 feet, like a huge empty room with just like one chair in the middle where they sat me. I don't think they like strapped me in like a serial killer. Like they didn't strap my like feet and arms to the chair, but like the way my brain remembers it, it was very similar to that. But I think they had like a seatbelt thing, they had like a waist strap. They strapped me into the chair so I couldn't like move or like escape. But my hands were free, and they placed a s'more, like graham cracker, marshmallow, Hershey's. They placed a s'more in my hand, and like demonically they looked at me and said, "Eat it." And I said, "No." They had an X-ray hooked up to me, so in like real time, everyone could like see my throat, like an X-ray style, and they wanted me to eat the s'more so they could see what happens, like through the X-ray. They could see like my throat moving, and this went very similar to the banana incident. I started eating it. I started eating the s'more, and I just started crying, and like s'mores are hard to eat in general because they're like crunchy and they're really gooey and whatnot. But I was just screaming and crying and just like being force fed a freaking s'more. And on the X-ray screen, you can see like two little crumbs fall down my throat, and the doctors go, "Well, your son is all fine. He swallowed." Does this look like the face of a fine child? No child looks like this after eating a s'more. And like, why a s'more anyways? What doctor hears that a patient can't swallow and thinks, "S'mores. I should force feed this kid some s'mores." We leave the hospital. I remember it was like a 2 hour drive home, and my dad stopped at Wendy's, and I got like a kids meal burger, and I nibbled on this burger the whole way home. It took me the whole 2 hours for me to finish this burger, taking tiny bites and like swishing it down with my Sprite. Like, if you ever saw that SpongeBob episode where Squidward eats his first Krabby Patty and he takes the tiniest bite, that's what it was like for me to eat this Wendy's kids meal burger.
And yeah, that all lasted for about a year until I could start swallowing normal again. And I bring all this up because right now, as I recover from my wisdom teeth surgery, I can't chew anything, I can barely eat. And it's like reminding me of back when I couldn't swallow. So that's why I bring it all up. Yeah, that's pretty much the story of when I forgot how to swallow. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe. If you enjoyed the animation, comment down below, that way I know. And I'll probably do it again sometime. Vlog number 10.